Hello, welcome once again to my class on research and statistics. Today I'm going to be talking about another important topic, and that is population and sample. Population and sample. Now in my previous class I already hinted a little bit on what a population is. We describe a population as the entire persons, the total person, the whole person in a particular group, maybe a community, we call it a population. But it's important to understand that a population does not always or only describe humans alone. We can look at population of animal, and sometimes we can look at population of insects, and sometimes we can also have microbial population. So whichever way we are looking at it, a population is a group of subjects that can be understudied for the purpose of research. Any group of subjects that we can study, it is called a population. Now again, it's important to understand that in practical terms, it is often not feasible to work with every element, every subject, every entity in our population. For instance, if we are to understudy the entire Nigerian youth, it is practically not possible to reach every youth in Nigeria. Maybe because of the migratory activity, maybe because of, for so many reasons, it may be practically impossible to reach every Nigerian youth. So in research, what we do is that we pick a sample and work with it. So, and that is what we call sample. Now, whatever value we are able to deduce, whatever finding we get from our sample, I mentioned it in my previous class that this is what we call statistic. Statistic, that is the statistic without S, okay? So, but before picking sample from a population, there are procedures that must be adhered to. Number one, a sample must be representative of the population. In the course of picking our sample, we must avoid bias. There are procedures for taking sample from our population, but to start with, it's important to have what we call the sampling frame. The sampling frame is the list of all the objects or the subjects or the elements in our population. When we have, for instance, we want to work with all the pregnant women in a particular state in Nigeria, it's important we list the names of every pregnant woman in that particular state from which we intend to pick our sample. Now, the entire pregnant women is our target population. Okay, that is what we call target population from which we want to pick our sample. So when we have the name listed, that is our sampling frame. Now, the sampling frame is designed in such a way that every entity is assigned a number, of course, in a serial way, number 1 to the end. For instance, if we are talking about the population of pregnant women in a particular state, say we have 1,000 of them in that particular state. So it means we are going to number them from number 1, number 2, number 3, to number what? To the last 1,000th person. Good. So, but like I said, many a times we can't work with this entire number. So what we often do is that we pick a sample. Now, say we decide to pick a sample of 100 out of this 1,000. Now, whatever value we are going to get in our finding is called a statistic, because it is a sample, it is the product of a sample obtained from a population. Good. But again, it's important to also realize that if we took sample a number of times, say the first time we pick 10, we pick 100, the second time we pick 100 in 3 different places, we're going to get varying results simply because we are working with sample from a population. Now, this is what we call sampling variation. As long as we work with obtain sample from a population, we are going to have varying results, slightly different from one another. And these are very important reality that play significant role in research. And it is important to bear them in mind when we interpret the result of our finding in research. Now, this is the much we are going to discuss today. I will encourage you to like my video, to turn on the notification bell, and to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I'll be unraveling so many important information that will help you in your research journey. Again, my name is Dr. Felix Ayodele Oyeleye. I will see you in my next class. Thank you.